What would you consider to be your greatest achievement while teaching at BYU?
Well, we ended up doing a lot of innovative education work, and I was privileged to be part of the commission that went forward doing that. At this time, the entire accounting education throughout the country was changing with a desire to move from a 4-year program maybe to a 5-year program and teaching more than accounting skills, but teaching more in the way of ability to speak orally, to make good decisions, to be able to write, and things such as that. So we put into the criteria other traits into the curriculum, other traits that we wanted to have, and that was in the late 1980s and then into 1990s. And so we started what was called an integrated junior core, where the students in the junior year, they all came together. They'd already had a junior core, but we hadn't tried to integrate it in such a way that everybody registered for a lockstep 12-hour per semester program, 24 hours for that junior year. And there they learned not only accounting, but they learned a lot of other skills that went with it. And so my greatest achievement, I guess, was helping to get that innovative education program started, and it went on to follow throughout the country with a lot of the same traits. Not as good as at BYU because the faculty were so willing to change. And what we did there was we would take, say, financial accounting and managerial and tax and systems and put them all together in a different way. And by doing that, it was, you didn't have textbooks. You had different kind of textbooks that had to be used. So anyway, it was to open it up so that the students came out of that program not only so they could pass the CPA exam, but they're ready to go on and be good management people.
Well, what was your favorite part of teaching at BYU?
So I enjoyed the students, and I think the thing I enjoyed most was getting acquainted with them and learning who they really were. So at the beginning of every semester, I ended up taking an opportunity to meet each one of them. I had them come into a 5-minute interview, came into a class or into my office, and I had a chance to see who they were and ask them why they went into accounting, some of the questions you're asking. I have an opportunity to do that. So that's what I liked at BYU. They really allowed us and encouraged us to help the students feel a complete education. And part of that is getting to know them, getting a chance to find out who they were and what they were going to be doing. So anyway,
But how did you connect the gospel into your teaching of accounting?
well, I think it was more from these kind of interviews that I had with them. Uh, I emphasized the need of honesty, for example. Had to be, if an accountant is going to do his job, he's got to be above reproach in terms of honesty and willingness to work hard, those diligent things. And I think I tried to indicate, just like you said to start with, the importance of a balance. That you needed to make sure that you tried to balance these three things: your occupation, the church, and your family. And that means that you're maybe not going to be number one in any one of those, but you're going to be above average. And especially in the family, you can be number one in family if you really try and work at it.
After retiring, what kept you busy? What were you, or what do you do today?
Well, I've had a lot of busyness in terms of church callings, of course. The day I retired, I became a temple ordinance worker
That's
here at the
wonderful.
Provo Temple. And so I did that for the next 2 years, and then I was called to be a mission president, and we went off to Baltimore. We came back from there, and then I was called to be the temple president, and I came back from there. I joined the Sons of Utah Pioneers. My dad was a member of the Sons, and so I had joined it back in the 1980s, and I became active in the organization itself and the local chapter. And so from 2006 to 2009, I was the president of the Sons of Utah Pioneer National Organization with its various chapters in Idaho and Utah and California. And then in 2009, we put in our papers, 2008, and we were called to Hong Kong to be working in the Asia area office. 2010, came back from that, and they called me to be the area auditor for all of the Provo, Utah stakes, in which I would go in and train the various stake auditors and get their reports and put them into a new database they were providing and train them how to use this new database. So I did that for about 3 years. And then I continued to work in my family history. We were able to do research and find a lot of names to solve some problems, put out 325-page books on my mother's family and my dad's family. And I'm a member of a national member of my mother's family, which is Cooley, Cooley. And so I've been a member of that organization since 1966, served as its president. I have a couple of plaques over there now honoring me for the work that I've done for them. I'm still a treasurer. I still take care of the treasurer duties doing that. Those are some of the, of course, family. And we hold family reunions and visit the families, and we've gone to children's missions. We traveled to Japan, we traveled to Chile, traveled to England, all of those to meet one of our children who are serving in those countries. So life just keeps going on, and I'm still driving the car, and I'm still able to get up. And anyway,
Well, it sounds like
you've probably seen about all you want from me.